In this tutorial, we will cover how to add parameters to your workflows. Parameters are a powerful way to add flexibility to a workflow. Parameters are essentially variables that can be used in nodes and changed during the execution of a workflow. First, we need to add a parameter to our workflow. To do this, we use the green plus sign on the right of the category option at the top of the page. Here we can add a description for our workflow, or we can add parameters. To add a parameter, we use the green plus sign. And to remove a parameter, we can use the red minus sign next to the parameter. Each parameter has two options, the name of the parameter and the default value. In this case, we have the department name and the salary as our parameters, and their default options are sales and 50,000. Now we can use these parameters either inside of our nodes or to be changed during the execution of a workflow. For this example, we will be using the department name in our row filter. To add a parameter, we simply need to add an important $sign before the parameter name. Now we can execute this workflow. When we execute the workflow, but we don't change anything about the parameters, it executes with the standard values that we set earlier. In this case, the department was set to sales as a default value, and therefore we filter for the sales department. However, when we execute a workflow, we can also change the parameters using this option here, the workflow parameters. We can either input them as a text, such as this, or to make it simpler for our users, we can also input as a key value. For this option, or in this example, we will use the second option. When we select input as a key value, it shows us each of the parameters' names in addition to their default value. We can also change their default value here. We must edit the parameters and their values before we hit execute on the execution page. We cannot edit parameters during the execution of our workflow. Now when we execute this workflow, the department name will be set to HR instead of sales. And if we scroll down, we can now see that our row filter has filtered for the HR department. Thank you for listening.